Hello and welcome to another episode of the BoredGeoisie podcast. This is episode 3 and it is the first episode on video as requested by all of you good people. I'm Aditya Khanna. With me is my friend Shaunak for the first time showing his beautiful face on the DissContent YouTube channel. Shaunak, how do you feel?
We promised this was going to be a weekly podcast, but we didn't deliver, just like our government.
So just that kind of political critique and much more you can find on the BoredGeoisie podcast. First of all, I would just like to mention BoredGeoisie podcast impact, Shaunak. We've had a real impact in Indian politics this week because our previous episode we spoke about Shashi Tharoor's pros and cons and whether he should run for Congress president or not. And it seems like Sonia Gandhi has heard the podcast. So hello to you also, ma'am. And she has given him the green light. She's given Shash the green light.
You mean Antonia Maino?
Anton. I'm trying to really. Monica Bellucci has given the. I don't know. I'm just trying to remember Italian names in women. Carmela Soprano has given her green light to Shashi Tharoor to run for Congress president. So you're welcome, and if you'd like our help on any other matters, we can help you out on those as well.
But not this week because we can't do more Congress stuff to your relief and ours.
Yeah.
We've done enough Congress stuff, and that's just like an endless stream of jokes. So we can't do low hanging fruit anymore.
All right. So for the first topic today, we are moving away from discussing the woes of the Congress, Shaunak, and we are moving to the great state of Punjab, the state of the great state of Punjab, because there is a lot happening on the political front and the social front. And there is a lot of stuff. But I want to get the fluff out of the way. Shauna, can you read the first piece of news, which is arguably the funniest of all of this?
The one where the great CM, Mr. Mann got was he deplaned from the flight?
He was allegedly deplaned. So what happened was that Bhagwant Mann was taken off a flight, allegedly off a Lufthansa flight, where he was supposed to be sitting in the front, and after a lot of chaos, and apparently him and his sort of people traveling with him were not behaving appropriately, and they had to be deplaned because Bhagwant Mann was a little tipsy. Let's say.
Was he tipsy or was he just doing jokes? Because he used to be a stand-up comedian. if you remember, his claim to fame is actually the Great Indian Laughter Challenge.
Of course.
So, what was he just? Did he just make like jokes?
I don't know, because so the whole thing is that yesterday I saw on Republic TV and on other news channels and on Twitter.
Very credible. Very credible.
Very credible. The hashtag was man drunk. Okay. And the thing is, I don't know what it is about Aam Aadmi Party, but whatever names that join with them or their own name, it's so easy to make like puns out of them. So aapka to itne sare puns hai na, ki aapki party, aapki sarkar, it's with man also people keep saying man na मान तू था drunk, whatever, ऐसे type के मैंने hashtags देखे. मान नहीं मानेंगे लेकिन वो थे टल्ली, whatever, that kind of stuff. So the CM of Punjab was allegedly deplaned off a flight. Basically, that's a piece of news. And what is your opinion on this, Shaunak? Lufthansa has not issued any kind of clarification. They said that we don't reveal personal information about our passengers. And this just came from somebody on the plane who said that he saw Bhagwant Mann. Now, the problem is that there is a turban involved, right? So you can very easily confuse one person for another. So it's always possible it wasn't him. But what do you think?
He has a very like vibrant shade of yellow. I think it's almost singular in a sense.
Yeah.
So it might be him. I mean, that's not the confusion. Could be him. But yeah, this guy gets off a plane and then Arvind Kejriwal refuses security in a rickshaw. So I mean, it's very consistent with the Aam Aadmi Party.
Aam Aadmi Party needs to get their vehicle life sorted
I
first.
mean, Arvind Kejriwal needs to realize he's not Rajnikant from Shivaji the Boss. Because I feel like in his own head, he does act like that a little bit.
He does, dude. And you see the interview spree that he's gone on. He's actually cracked the Modi model. which is the media capture with ads. Like the other day, for example, I have Indian Express at my house because I'm not a loser who reads Times of India. तो उसके इंडियन एक्सप्रेस के फ्रंट पेज पे मुंबई में भगवंत मान का पूरा एड था एंड एड पे लिखा था साडा काम बोल दा. ओके, सो आई एम लाइक डूड, ना ही मेरे को तेरा काम दिख सकता है और ये तो एड है और उसमें खाली उसका चेहरा था. सो आई एम लाइक, तो या आई डू थिंक दैट केजरीवाल थिंक्स he is Rajnikant from Shivaji the Boss. That's true. What would make Bhagwant Mann in that scenario?
The comedy, the guy next to him.
The comedy relief.
Because I think Arvind Kejriwal in his head, he's walking down the street and the city around him is changing. Yeah, so that is, I think it comes from the whole ISE thing also. So I think he's 2 bad months away with the BJP away from like shaving his head off and completely assuming a new identity.
running a coin through his he can do that actually. But no, I think this is a really incredibly funny piece of news because, you know, first of all, it's the CM of Punjab who this is happening to. Let's just address that. Second of all, I mean, he's had a drinking problem in the past. Okay. So of course, this can be a misinterpretation of what happened, and people could be using this just to sort of attack him.
I'll tell you why it becomes more believable. It's because Bollywood has fed us all these stereotypes of Punjab, and I think they have just like bastardized an entire state's culture and image by constantly feeding us that. So yeah, you're going to think, and then of course Kapil Sharma also got drunk on a flight.
Kapil Sharma did get drunk on a flight.
He of his own people. I hate the amount of like cinematic references that are coming in right now.
But you know, this can all be clarified very easily if Bhagwant Mann just issues a statement, which I believe he hasn't yet. Has he?
I think I found something on like Twitter and all. I had to scour through the internet.
Oh, you found a statement?
I think yeah, it was like a sound note.
Oh,
it came from his team. I'm not sure. But I opened it and it was basically.
I think we should just play it. I think we should play it for the audience. So we'll just play the Bhagwant Mann's statement regarding this incident. Yeah, so that's what Bhagwant Mann had to say. It's a truly moving statement. I think it speaks for itself.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah,
it does.
Yeah. But that covers the initial news about what happened in Punjab. Unless you have something else to add about Bhagwant Mann. What do you think he was drunk on? What do you think Bhagwant Mann, when you look at him, what kind of a drinker does he look to you?
He looks like a whiskey drinker, dude. Like
straight up.
Yeah. I think he's very old school that way. Unless I don't know, he's into like unless he got onto the gin train as well. Like a lot of.
I have certainly boarded the gin train. Have you boarded the gin train?
I haven't boarded the gin train.
Not yet?
No. I'm still a whiskey guy. We do not condone alcoholism.
We do not condone alcoholism, especially if you are in Germany on a flight and if you're a chief minister of a state. But imagine if this really...
The state is already grappling with a drug problem. I don't think the alcohol thing helps. So we don't condone any of that.
I think we are all really cynical assholes over here. I think Bhagwant Mann was doing an extremely noble thing where he was saying that he was giving a message to the youth of Punjab that listen, stop doing drugs and just drink alcohol, because at least, you know, it's called a 12-step program for a reason. It's not, you don't immediately go cold turkey, I'll just stop everything. You start, let's say cigarette hota hai, you don't just stop. You have like एक पैकेट से थोड़ा आधा पैकेट फिर एक सिगरेट पर डे वैसा करके. So I think he's convincing all of them. He's showing them a new path, which is the path of a true man or a true man, something like that. But yeah, so I think it's a noble effort.
Bhagwant Mann gets the thumbs up and the 100 emoji.
Yeah, you know what they call him though, right? On the right wing, on the anti Aam Aadmi Party Twitter.
I don't know. I think it must be like a pretty unimaginative nickname.
It is. He's called Bhagwant Mann. I mean, you gotta give them points for trying. It is funny for sure.
I really can't. They just don't. I think, and they use like these stupid terms which they think are offensive and it doesn't make any sense.
I don't think we should use offensive stuff because of the voice note that we played for his statement.
Yeah, so we can move on to the next segment.
We should move on to the next. which is again in the state of Punjab. A couple of things. Firstly, the political change, which is Captain Amarinder Singh, who is the Prince of Patiala or Maharaja of Patiala, has now left his own party after leaving the Congress, and he has merged his party along with, I believe, his daughter into the BJP. What's the name of the party, Shaunak?
I don't know what is the name of the party. Are we googling it?
It's called Amarinder's Big Bash.
You have to give context of the joke because I think only I know it only because you told me that he's a big drinker. Like he likes
Amarinder Singh.
Yeah.
I heard this rumor from people because I am a Punjabi, but I've never lived in Punjab. I'm ancestrally from Punjab. So yeah, people have told me that he's also a big drinker. Punjab mein, I think, Punjab is a unique state in that sense, which is that you can be a drinker and you can still like have an active political. Like I don't think in other states you can. I feel in Maharashtra you can, but not openly.
Yeah.
It's not a. Over there it's still relatively fine. I believe Amarinder Singh also had a Pakistani girlfriend, right?
Again,
He's in a relationship with somebody who's a Pakistani lady.
Good for him.
I'm not. That's actually, and I'm saying that Punjab is the kind of state where that kind of thing you're allowed to.
Yeah. And I mean, if another film reference, if Udta Punjab is anything to go by, you can just throw shit over the border anyway. So
Breakups are easy, I guess.
breakups are easy, and so is romance.
It's romance. But so Amarinder Singh earlier had left Congress to make his own party before the election, famously as he was removed from the post of chief minister.
I'm still a little hung up on the Pakistani girlfriend. Where did he meet? At the Wagah border presentation.
When people are doing the kicks and all that. This is real Veer Zara actually.
Yeah, this might be.
Can you Google this, because I don't want to be sued by a Maharaja. So okay, we have now looked this up, and the article says
Longtime friend and former journalist from Pakistan was his friend, and Captain says that she was his soulmate, not lover.
a soulmate, not lover.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what I cannot gather anything about Amarinder Singh's relationship from that statement, but what I can gather is he's also, the rumors have been confirmed, he's definitely a drinker. Because lines like she's not my soulmate.
That only come from after listening to Jagjit Singh
No,
ghazals.
I was just saying, it comes from a drinker and a ghazal singer. So, which
Average ghazal enjoyer.
after average ghazal enjoyer, Amarinder Singh. But yeah, he's joined the BJP. What do you have any opinion on this? Do you think it will make any difference, because he's pretty old already?
It'll make as much difference as it's making elsewhere. Like they couldn't pull up Bihar on these guys anyways. So again, growing like a juggernaut, they hope to bulldoze. And I think they have this dream of one nation, one party.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It looks very real.
I think it's a real crown of thorns to be the CM of Punjab. Look at the last three. Now Bhagwant Mann recently caught, allegedly deported off a plane for being drunk. Charanjit Singh Channi, he's moved to the US or something for treatment, I believe, or something like that. I just read this on Twitter. And of course, Amarinder Singh now left without a party. So basically, for any young people out there who have an aspiration for politics, don't be CM of Punjab. It's not a great sort of position to have. I don't think it's going to make any kind of difference. I don't even know why we are talking about it actually.
Yeah.
So we will move on to the next
Yeah.
topic of the state of Punjab, and this one is a very serious topic, and no jokes over here. I mean, this is a case that happened in Chandigarh University, which is again, as we've told you guys previously, we are not a serious political podcast. I can recommend you some. News Laundry Hafta is probably my favorite out of all, but I believe Indian Express has a podcast, other people have a podcast. You can check out those for serious news. Here we are just talking about bullshit.
But you know where the protests started?
Where?
So again, this is all hearsay, and I read this on Reddit somewhere that the protests weren't random. The protests started because the college started pressuring the women to retract statements, to make false messages on WhatsApp, and started offering them money to change and to say that no women tried to like harm themselves, facing a loss of reputation, etc. That is where the protests started. What I really don't like is that some of the really stupid opinions that are coming out of this is there are people on Reddit who are saying stuff like, oh, the feminists want only the guy to go in jail, and they're saying that the guy pressured her. Like, listen, that's not how the legal system works. If it works and it works functionally without any foul play, both of these people will be prosecuted because they're both involved in the crime. There is literally an IPC charge for abetment and for being an accomplice, and it doesn't matter who was the mastermind or what you people think feminists are saying. You can't pressure the judicial system or the legal system that way.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just on Reddit. Reddit would still be like, Reddit can be what Reddit is. It's like clay, whatever you want it to be. It's like it can be good, bad, ugly, whatever. But what I have seen this trend elsewhere as well, especially on YouTube. On YouTube, there are YouTubers who are like कि लड़के की photo दिखाई but लड़की की नहीं दिखाई. अभी यार, this is the burning issue. This is the point that comes out of all of this. मतलब that is your.
These are the hot takes.
These are the hot takes, and I'm just like, it's completely ridiculous. And the way that people go after, they just announce the death. This is the death of feminism. This is the death of XYZ. I mean, it's like saying that, oh, when people say that women rights, women cannot be evil. Of course, they're human beings, right? That's the whole. Anyone can do something.
And before
wrong.
like just screaming pseudo-feminism and feminazis, try to maybe get into the discourse a little bit about what it actually is and what they're saying.
Correct.
Before just going off on some like 4chan-ish rant about what is happening and picking up something half-witted from Twitter.
So anyone can say anything, and the discourse isn't very mature. I mean, again, we are nobody to comment on mature discourse clearly, and we are also not discussing what it is and what the case is and all that, because we are not discussing serious news on this podcast. And also, you can see by our facial disposition, even though both of us are very clean shaven today, that we are two dudes. So we would like to not touch this
Now do we want
topic
to comment
properly.
on like any socio-political theories like feminism in that sense? Because apart from like our whole take on this is like give better opinions, guys. Like read a little bit, don't lash out.
अगर आप सीरियस ओपिनियन दे रहे हो, थोड़ा सा सोच के दो. ऐसे ही अपने यूट्यूब थंबनेल को बनाने के लिए मत दो. बट कोई सुनेगा नहीं मेरी बात, तो वो तो चलो खत्म बात है. बट anyway,
what was the worst take you found on all of this?
No, that was the worst take. I found a few which was like कि लड़की को सजा क्यों नहीं देंगे ये लोग, एंड लड़की की फोटो. द मेन थिंग वाज लड़की की फोटो क्यों ब्लर की है, लड़के की फोटो ब्लर नहीं की है. जो because there was a guy involved and a girl involved in the recordings and all that, so they have not blurred the guy's photo. Now I'm like, that is not.
Yeah, again, that's not our place to comment on.
It's just weird.
Yeah, and in any way, what has happened was more serious than how the news channels are treating it. And if you're looking at news channels treating it, of course, it's going to be, it's not going to be the most ideal way of dealing with it, anyways. Yeah, the worst Q I read on this was an Instagram account which wrote a poem on this.
Oh my god.
And I don't know why people are chasing clout and so badly. So these are the last 4 lines of it. They're trying to hide everything as if they are the ancestors of Queen Elizabeth's crown. Everything was shared, and they said that the video was not shot. I mean, these are relatively better lines still, but the rest of the poem is just.
And they use the Queen also as a reference for ongoing news. So I think जब भी ऐसा कोई topic होता है ना, उसमें what the poem that you read out, I think that's what. This is why I was very apprehensive, even though we do a lot of conversation on politics, or me and Bharat and all of us do a lot of, but I was very, very apprehensive on starting a new podcast for something like this, because it can very easily become cloud chasing. It's like the glee that one has. Oh, आज पता है 25 लोग मर गए यहाँ पर, अभी हम बात कर, मतलब it becomes very, very giddy and night.
What Arnab does for a living, basically.
What basically tabloidy वो हो ही जाता है थोड़ा बहुत. So which is what we want to avoid, and leave the serious topic to the serious people, and I think ये जो cloud chasing करते हैं लोग, उनका तो चलो जो भी है now, उनका भी हक बनता है, ऐसा कोई problem नहीं है.
But all said and done, that said and done, if you want to like increase our reach and increase the number of likes and increase the number of subscribers that are on the channel, go for it, dude.
Go for it, totally.
We're not chasing clout, but we welcome clout.
We welcome it with open arms and open shirts. So
But we aren't chasing it.
we're not chasing it. We sit at the side of the street, wait for clout to come. We
want
don't
to
go.
manifest clout. We want to attract clout and the abundance that comes with it.
Yeah. And हमको ज़्यादा कुछ चाहिए नहीं. हमारे अगर 5,000 सब्सक्राइबर हो गए शौनक, तो हम लोग तो बहुत ही खुश हैं. मतलब हम लोग will be at the top of the moon. We have no aspiration. We do not want the silver play button. We only want money from little bit of subscribers so we can afford shirts with better regular buttons, not YouTube buttons.
And sponsorships.
And sponsorships, ideally. And as per what we spoke, Shaunak, this is actually great. We can now appeal to sponsors because we have spoken about how alcohol can be used for good and what Bhagwant Mann has shown us the way forward. So any alcohol brands, I'd be willing to,
we'll sell our soul a little bit also. That's fine.
not just a little bit. This is not, you're not going to get Sachin Tendulkar treatment from us where it's like, principally, no, principally I am for alcohol. So any brands that you would like to specifically reach out to?
I forgot alcohol brands right now. Okay, wait. Bro Code.
Bro Code?
15% beer, 15% alcohol रहता है. It tastes like cough syrup. It's like
What?
It's like if you mix vodka with beer. It's the strongest beer that I've had. Bro Code, yes.
Where was this? This is an Indian thing.
Goa only.
It's a Goan brand,
It's a
yeah?
Goan brand, I think. Goan और northern brand है. मैंने पिया था. 15% alcohol है. ऐसा मस्त.
गोवा में एक बहुत अच्छी लागर मिलती है, पीपल्स लागर. दैट्स आल्सो रियली नाइस. सो दैट इज व्हाट यू कैन ट्राई आउट.
थोड़ा नाम थोड़ा cringy है but
हाँ, एंड इट हैज दैट फुल कम्युनिस्ट टाइप. वो लोग ने पूरा लोगो को भी वैसा. आई एम नॉट किडिंग.
alcohol brand. Obviously for profit. What are you?
ठीक है यार, मतलब हमने एक तो पहली बात तू इधर मॉरल पुलिसिंग का कर रहा है. अभी अपना नाम क्या है जरा शौनक, जरा याद दिलाना.
That's true.
BoredGeoisie. So हम भी कुछ खास नहीं है उसमें. Anyway, so let's go on from news about Punjab to news about halfway greater Punjab, which is UK. So we are now moving to the UK where the Queen is now dead. The Queen Elizabeth II has, her life has come to,
थोड़ा reverentially, थोड़ा deceased.
Is now deceased, is now gone from this world. She has left the realms.
Passed away.
Left the realms of men and gods and women.
Her soul has moved on.
Her soul has moved on and into the grounds of Windsor Castle. So the Queen's death, based on your political allegiances, very sorry to hear that news, or congratulations, and that it's been a varying opinions as was expected.
But where do you stand?
I stand on the Queen's grave. I just I stand in favor of the best memes and the best content.
Oh, David Beckham, तेरे को मालूम है? He stood like.
I know David Beckham. Yeah, I'm familiar with David Beckham. Oh, he stood in line.
Yeah. So there is a thing like they had her casket on display and you could like stand
तो
in
पता है वो 30 घंटे की कोई तो line.
हाँ, तो David Beckham stood in line for like 7 hours or something. And there were of course bureaucrat culture. MPs in the UK jumped the line.
बाबू लोग.
But David Beckham stood in line.
तो the David Beckham, so do you think people like I feel like अगर इतने सारे celebrities, David Beckham wouldn't be the only one standing in line, so there would be others. So do you think there would be like parallel lines opening up कि जो David Beckham को मिलना चाहते हैं उनकी एक अलग line खुली जा रही है. तो people who are standing 3 hours in line just to meet Beckham, उनको Queen से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. मतलब I also read news that some Chinese man who stood in line for some 20 hours was not allowed to go near the
Yeah, but which figures? No, these guys, I mean, Chinese आदमी को थोड़ी वो लोग इतना respect करेंगे.
नहीं करेंगे.
Which is why I'm team die, dude. I'm team.
You're team death.
Team die, like Dinah.
Oh, team die. Oh fuck.
Princess Diana.
Team die also was kind of team death only in a sense, but
Princess Diana for life though. But she was great, dude. Like my parents were also fans. And
most Indians of our parents' generations were massive fans of Diana.
like I remember I was going through some old boxes in the attic, and I found magazines from the time she had just passed away.
Sorry. I heard you're going through old boxers in the attic. Or no,
Boxes. हाँ, cardboard का जो गट्टे का cartoon.
Correct.
Which are grocery
Cartoons. You're going through the
cartoons. I found like magazines from the time that she had passed away, like special edition and special issue magazines, which my parents had preserved.
Oh.
Yeah, which chronicled like her life and all the good stuff that she had done, which she had done a lot of. And there was also like a special Elton John CD which he had released with only 2 tracks in memory of Princess Diana, and all the proceeds from that Elton John CD were going to go for like charity. ऊपर से she had done a lot against AIDS stigma. Surprisingly, she shook hands with an AIDS patient and all.
Only that was the biggest thing, na? That was what made, because as everyone knows, in the 80s, AIDS, the epidemic was just not recognized because it was a homosexual disease and all of that.
All of that discourse.
And it was completely ignored because of that reason, which I believe right now also there's, I think, monkeypox, right?
Monkeypox.
Monkeypox also, I think, is going through a similar thing where, because it's mostly in the homosexual community, it's not receiving any kind of government support which it would otherwise. And yeah, you're right, AIDS patient, when she shook hands and all, that was a very massive thing. और देखो कैसे उसकी सास ने उसको मार डाला.
So yeah, man, Diana, that's my queen.
That's
the queen. And Beyonce, because not Beyonce, not really.
Not Beyonce? No, okay. But no, I stand on this thing ki I think monarchies are embarrassing. Whether in India, when you go to Rajasthan with I don't know why.
Why are you just shitting on Rajasthan?
I'm just saying, dude, like whether
there are
it's
monarchies in a lot of places.
No, I know, all across India, even in Punjab, like Amarinder Singh and Maharaja Patiala and all that.
Saif Ali Khan also.
Saif Ali Khan. Obviously, it's across, but I feel like the most amount of pride is taken in Rajasthan for it. It's still sort of embarrassingly, it is still. I have met people who, like, you meet Rajputs and all, and they genuinely, they tell you with a lot of thought कि हमारे ये होते थे जो राजा होते थे and all that. They're not, I'm pretty sure they're not even related, but they'll tell you like some 18th cousin of somebody. So which I find to be very embarrassing. तो ये global level पे ये same चीज़ हो रही है. I heard the News on the Hafta podcast where they called basically the royal family are Kardashians before the Kardashians. The famous for being famous, they're the original
But that's
celebrities.
Not even historically. Like I've read novels and where the whole point of there was an incident that they detailed, and the point was to highlight how the common aam janta always took interest in the celebs of the time who were the royal family, and they often gossiped and they spread salacious rumors.
वो तो ठीक है, because वो time नहीं मेरे को वो फिर भी थोड़ा बहुत समझ में आता है, because that's like us talking about what we do right now, what we talk about politicians, right? Which is because वो उस time पे उनके पास power था. अब क्या excuse है? मतलब अब now they're as much as Kardashians at this point तो with public money they still I believe get $100 million pounds or something like that. No, सबके मैंने ऐसे तो कुछ तो सुना था that every British citizen के कुछ तो एक परसेंटेज एक छोटा सा होता है, जैसे अपना स्वच्छ भारत अभियान जैसे हमारा जो होता है ना सेस, एक अपना कौन से अपने यहाँ पे सेस लगे थे
अपने काफी लगते हैं अपने वी हैव अ प्रोफेशनल सेस, फिर कुछ स्पेशल महाराष्ट्र का एक फार्मर्स सेस लगता है, काफी कुछ लगता है.
तो उनका वैसे उनको अपना स्वैग दिखाने के लिए एक रॉयल सेस उन पे लगता है, तो विच आई फाइंड रिडिकुलस. आई फाइंड द काइंड ऑफ, और अभी वो जो डिस्कोर्स चल रहा है, आई डोंट नो इफ यू रेड कि वो
but a lot of British citizens are also in favor of abolishing the monarchy.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is कि वो अभी जो ऐसा डिस्कोर्स चल रहा है कि there are floods there is a massive flood happening in Puerto Rico. There was in पाकिस्तान का तो हुआ था 2 हफ्ते पहले, और पोर्टो रिको की कोई बात नहीं कर रहा, क्वीन की बात कर रहे जैसे हम लोग, तो which actually I don't know if that, do you think that is valid criticism कि उसकी बात नहीं कर रहे इसकी बात, but this is a rarer event, ना, floods and national.
It is a rarer event. It's got a lot more historical connotations, and apart from donating, what can you do about floods? Like there are always things happening. We have like a whole bunch of information at our fingertips right now. सब account नहीं होने वाला है. And the baggage we carry from this woman's legacy and her historical family, that's been there around the world, dude. Like, I'm not saying floods are not bad or they shouldn't be talked about. They should be. But there's only so much you can say about floods. They're bad, objectively.
You know, the best joke I found from the Queen's death was there was a photo of the King Charles now, I guess. इतने टाइम के बाद बेचारा देखो वो ऐसे वो खड़ा है, पूरा फैमिली खड़ी है और वो ऐसा वो चेस बोर्ड टाइप का फ्लोरिंग है, जैसे इधर अपने घरों में होता है ना चेस बोर्ड टाइप फ्लोरिंग, जहाँ पे किचन के अंदर वैसा. सो उधर वैसा फ्लोर है, टाइल्स है. And people have commented कि now these events will take much longer because he can only move, now the king can only move one block at a time, unlike the queen who could just, you know, go. The ऐसे टाइप के थकेले jokes मुझे बहुत पसंद आते हैं.
I like how coherent that was, because the parts of the internet where I go, the best thing I found was somebody had morphed half of Tupac's face with the Queen's face for some reason.
What? Was there some context for this?
There was no context. Somebody just like let that out, like half of Tupac and half of the Queen. And they had not explained shit, okay? And I thought that was hilarious because even when Prince Philip had died, somebody spoke on the same day, this rapper called DMX died, and somebody spoke of them being like these eternal lovers being united in heaven. DMX is the guy who was behind X Gonna Give It To Ya.
Oh yeah.
And Wear the Hood at.
I know X Gonna Give It To You, which I think everyone should know. Yeah. But I don't know what the other one.
Yeah, Wear the Hood. So that was the context that. And देखो मालूम है football suspend किया था for like a week and.
भाई
for a while.
Football नहीं, हाँ. This is where I think everyone is unanimous. Everyone sane should be unanimous कि उन्होंने football तो चल ठीक है, okay, which I find also ridiculous, but लोगों के कैंसर जो अपॉइंटमेंट्स होते हैं कीमोथेरेपी के, वो बंद कर दिए लोगों को. एक दे फनी शिट, देयर वाज अ पार्क अपेरेंटली वेयर देयर वर पीपल ऑलरेडी, कोई क्रिकेट खेल रहा है, कोई बैठा है, कोई ड्रिंक कर रहा है. उन्होंने पार्क बंद कर दिया गेट और बोला कि क्वीन मर गई, अभी आप लोग नहीं इधर एंजॉय नहीं कर सकते आप लोग, लेकिन हम लोग घर पे, हम लोग खोले नहीं गेट. फिर उन्होंने बोला अरे, तो फिर उन्होंने बोला ओके चल ठीक है.
But I'll tell you why. What their concern was about football being suspended.
What?
So they were worried that football fans, okay, and some of them come from the lower rungs, which are very obviously anti.
It's a very working class sport.
Yeah, it's a very working class sport, right? So they were worried that football fans would come up with really wild chants if matches would continue, because they would be like super happy that the Queen was not there anymore.
Right.
And वो लोग बोल रहे थे सबसे notorious उसमें लिवरपूल और सेल्टिक के fans होते थे, because they have been very anti-conservative politics, those two areas, Celtics in Glasgow and Liverpool.
आयरलैंड में तो खुशी की लहर मची हुई है, बट इंडिया में भी होनी चाहिए. बट इंडिया में एक दिन मोदी कहते हैं कि यू नो ये तो काफी पॉपुलर हो गया.
मोदी जी
कहते हैं कि यू नो हमें कॉलोनाइजेशन का, हमें बैगेज ड्रॉप करना है, दैट्स व्हाई वी चेंजिंग आवर नेवी का सिजिल. एंड द नेक्स्ट डे ही इज लाइक कि रानी मर गई हमारी तो हमें स्टेट मोर्निंग. आई एम लाइक व्हाट द फक.
एंड flag was, but that I think was because we're still considered a part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, but
I don't know if we should be that reverential, but I don't know if we can afford to be that.
I'm not saying we have to go say fuck you and all that, but I'm just saying
it becomes a diplomatic issue at this.
यार एक ट्वीट भी कर सकते हैं ना, रेस्ट इन पीस. जैसे ओके फॉर एग्जांपल अभी मोदी जी का बर्थडे था, तो अरविंद केजरीवाल ट्वीटेड कि हैप्पी बर्थडे टू आवर प्राइम मिनिस्टर. ही आल्सो ट्वीटेड एट सम पॉइंट आई थिंक हैप्पी बर्थडे अरविंद केजरीवाल.
Like even I think
वो एक कॉर्डियल रख सकते हो.
Or they should have blasted the Divine's Kohinoor from the Red Fort.
रेड फूड पे स्पीकर लगा के कोहिनूर. That would have been fun. That would have been
Very appropriate, I think.
I feel they should have called. Do you think it would be? I feel like the government of India should have collectively charged a cess to pay for Divine's ticket over there, and then for him to get access to the Queen, and then him singing in the middle of Buckingham Palace. And उसका legal case के लिए भी हम लोग ready होना चाहिए.
Yeah, वो जा चुका है, but UK.
नहीं मेरे को पता है यूके आ चुका है. मैं बोल रहा हूँ उसका उधर जाके जब भी उसको पकड़ेगी बोली, उसका लीगल केस हम फाइट करेंगे एज अ कॉलोनियल.
वो बर्मिंघम में वो तो ऑलरेडी करते रहेंगे. यू नेवर नो. करेक्ट. दे आर ऑलरेडी फाइटिंग इन स्टफ, राइट?
हाँ, they are fighting in Birmingham and not in Birmingham but in Leicester. Now moving away from UK का the Queen's news. Coming to another news from the UK, more important news which is relating to us, which is after the India-Pakistan match in the Asia Cup, there was some violent clashes in the city of Leicester, in Leicestershire, and there were Hindu and Muslim groups going at each other. So I have
the Maro Mujhe Maro meme seriously. That guy is in London, by the way. He's an actor.
Yeah.
And he does like reels and stuff now.
Correct. They took that very seriously. क्योंकि तो apparently the sequence of events is this कि जब ये I think पाकिस्तान जीती, second match पाकिस्तान जीती थी. So जब भी वो हुआ था तो कुछ तो एक इंस्टेंस हुआ था जहाँ पर पाकिस्तान मुर्दाबाद के नारे लगाए गए थे in Leicester by the Hindu community, and then apparently a Sikh man was harassed and he was assaulted. After which, there were flags, Hindu flags like the Bhagwa type flags or whatever, religious flags Hindu religious flags were removed from a mandir, and also from people's homes. After which, then there were Hindu gangs who were going around Muslim neighborhoods armed with weapons and stuff, and they were chanting slogans, they were saying Jai Shri Ram, and they were sort of being intimidating and all that, and apparently it was ऐसा type का एक clash हुआ वहाँ पर. Now a lot of people have given a lot of opinions on this. I have a very different opinion which I've held for a very long time. I think, देखो, Queen मर चुकी है, ठीक है, किंग नया आया है, बहुत बूढ़ा है. आई डोंट थिंक उससे संभलने वाला है कुछ भी. उनका प्राइम मिनिस्टर अभी इंडियन बनते रह गया. ठीक है.
The mayor of London is also Pakistani.
The mayor of London is Pakistani. इससे बेटर टाइम नहीं हो सकता शौनक टू स्टार्ट द प्रोसेस ऑफ रिकॉलोनाइजेशन. पॉलिटिकल वैक्यूम बैठा हुआ है यूके में. हम मेरे हिसाब से तो ये लड़ाई करते रहो थोड़ी सी, थोड़े ऐसे सिग्निफिकेंट ऐसे.
But like, do you want like all brown people together or just Indians?
No, I want all brown people. I want there to be, if you have you watched Game of Thrones, Shaunak?
I haven't.
So in Game of Thrones, there's a very popular line: "Chaos is a ladder." Okay, so this chaos can be used to recolonize UK. I am against. There are a lot of intellectuals and a lot of people talk about decolonization. I am against. I am like recolonize. Udhar jao. Which is I am in support of recolonizing Canada, recolonizing UK. I think these are golden. कितना ही बड़ा आइलैंड है क्या? कितना साइज क्या है उसका? मतलब महाराष्ट्र के एक पार्ट से तो छोटा ही है. ईस्टर्न महाराष्ट्र से
अलीबाग से बड़ा रहेगा थोड़ा.
अलीबाग से थोड़ा बड़ा रहेगा. जेट्टी से जा सकते हो सर.
North to south is about like 400-500 kilometers, which is
barely anything.
anything.
So I mean, I think this is the perfect moment where these Asian groups can actually, whether they do it by fighting and creating chaos and generally doing bawal over there so that everyone's confused and then suddenly they take over, or you all come together और ये मिली जुली साजिश होनी चाहिए इंडियन पाकिस्तानी की कि देखो इन्होंने तो जो करना था कर दिया, अभी हमारी बारी है, थोड़ा इनको थोड़ा डरा देते हैं हम लोग, चाकू वाकू थोड़ा हम लोग थोड़ा इंडियन.
बेसिकली वो RRR वाला सीन with the अभी as it is Modi ji has released cheetahs, so you do that with the Buckingham Palace right now.
Correct. Though actually all of this is happening in very scattered places, Shaunak.
Yeah.
They should all the cheetah should have been released in Buckingham.
I think RRR they gave an idea. They gave a great idea.
What?
Just storm the palace, release a bunch of animals, and see what happens.
Correct.
देख लो.
I think एक बार कू का ट्राई तो करना चाहिए. ये पॉडकास्ट आई थिंक मैं ये तभी डालूंगा जब मैं अपना एक बार यूके वीज़ा, कभी मेरे को जाना नहीं है लेकिन मैं एक बार सिक्योर करके रखता हूँ कि पता नहीं क्या हो जाए आगे. सो तो आई थिंक दैट इज़ माई ओपिनियन ऑन दिस. बट what do you think of this whole thing of these Hindu and Muslim gangs clashing?
But like I've realized after reading like accounts and like fictional stories and all कि वहाँ पे जाके people get a little like they tend to be more communal. I think they look for comfort also, and I think that spills out in bad ways at times. And because it's an old diaspora right now when it comes to India and all, we have our set of criminals, we have our set of gangs, and वो सब मतलब
indeed we do. Yes.
तो वो सब करके वो निकलता है and that gets expressed in very weird ways. Like apparently you have a Singsbury's in Birmingham, and they still play like Imran Khan's amplifier, which was somehow he's a Pakistani artist, and which somehow still united like a lot of people.
Dude, Imran Khan's amplifier, I'm sure if you play it at like some बीजेपी लीडर के बच्चों के शादी पे भी एम्पलीफायर बजता रहेगा और सब बच्चों oh fuck mid 2000s bro ऐसे हो जाएगा सब मतलब
amplifier is a banger, is a certified jam.
Yeah.
Thanks Imran Khan.
Thank you so much, the cooler Imran Khan. So,
I don't think he's cool.
The coolest actually there are 3 Imran Khans है ना, एक अपना पाकिस्तान एक्स पीएम प्लस ऑलराउंडर, एक अपना बैठा हुआ है जो गली में, और दूसरा पाकिस्तानी सिंगर. So yeah, I think definitely our one has lost out on that race pretty quickly. Yeah, so I think Shaunak and I are on the same page when it comes to recolonization, the gang violence in UK.
How they brought Victorian architecture to the country. I think we should take like
ऐसा ना एक
वर्सोवा लोखंड वाला आर्किटेक्चर to over there. मतलब ऐसा मड जेटी बना वहाँ पे.
तुम लोग को इन लोग ने बोला, शुरू किसने किया? ब्रिटेन ने बोला हम लोग को आर्ट चाहिए, ठीक है, इन लोग का, हम लोग का सब कुछ जो भी प्रेशियस आइटम्स, हिस्ट्री, व्हाटएवर, दे फकिंग स्टोल इट. सो नाउ वी विल ब्रिंग यू द अदर पार्ट्स ऑफ आवर साउथ एशियन कल्चर आल्सो ना. हम खाली वो थोड़ी ना, हम खाली खूबसूरत लोग नहीं है, हम लोग, हमें बहुत सारी खराबियां हैं, तो हम वो भी एक्सपोर्ट करेंगे इनको. एंड आई फील किसी को ऐसा ओशन 11 करना चाहिए where Indian and Pakistani groups, it should be a movie where Indian and Pakistani groups are clashing. All of UK police पूरा मतलब you know like अमेरिका का जनवरी टाइप राइट जो हुआ था जो इलेक्शन के टाइम पर, वैसा सीन होना चाहिए और सब लोग डिस्ट्रैक्टेड है, और तभी एक इंडियन और एक पाकिस्तानी भाई मिलके एक RRR टाइप के स्टाइल में जाके ब्रिटिश म्यूजियम से सारे हीरे जवाहरात चोरी करके आएंगे.
That or Hrithik Roshan dressed as the queen.
Or Hrithik Roshan dressed as the queen. Hrithik Roshan definitely made a better, more convincing queen. Walked faster, so that was great.
Yeah. We talked ourselves into a tangent, and we're not sure how to
come out of it.
Just like the British didn't know when to come out of India.
Yeah,
but they did actually. They
just fucked off.
They fucked off.
Shit. So yeah, हमको actually देखा जाए तो हम लोग ये भी कर सकते हैं ना, अगर हमने रिकॉलोनाइज कर दिया ऐसे करके, ऐसे उधर वायलेंस हमने वर्चस्व अपना बना दिया, ऐसे गैंग वैंग बन गए, कालीन भैया टाइप लोग ऐसे सेट हो गए वहाँ पे अपने इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के, तो then we can then start redrawing the lines of their, I think that will be fun. Like how they, you know, very cruelly they drew the partition lines. We can draw lines of their thing कि अभी ये UK नहीं, ये फ्रांस है. Like, you know, just ये इधर फ्रेंच बोलना पड़ेगा.
आयरलैंड फिर वो लोग को देने का नहीं देने का, मतलब आयरलैंड, डू यू थिंक दे विल सपोर्ट अस?
आयरलैंड तो हमारे साथ ही
दे देंगे फिर वो लोग को.
आयरलैंड हमारे भाई हैं.
हाँ, वो लोग को भी टूटने का ही था. दे वांटेड टू ब्रेक आउट ऑफ द.
तो ऑल्सो द क्वीन का ना लोग ऐसा बोल रहे थे कि क्वीन वाज इविल एंड ऑल, एंड मेरे को तो समझ नहीं आता लोगों को पॉइंट्स देने की एक्चुअली ज़रूरत क्या है इसमें. वो तो मतलब एक रॉयल फैमिली, वो तो एक सीधी बात है, हम मोनार्की को पीछे छोड़ के आए हैं ना, मतलब एटलीस्ट बाकी दुनिया तो छोड़ के आई है ज़्यादातर मोनार्की को. तो अभी हमने एडमिटेड है कि ये तो बहुत ही फकौल सा पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम है, तो उसको छोड़ दिया गया. तो आई डोंट थिंक पॉइंट्स देने की ज़रूरत है इसके बारे में, वाई द क्वीन वाज इविल, वाई जैसे. बट वन थिंग आई फाउंड which I saw on Instagram and other places also, that the queen had 2 cousins who had mental disabilities, had some very severe mental disabilities, and these cousins, same age as her, they were kept in a hospital, like in some kind of hospital or care facility for their entire lives. One of them died in the 90s, the other one died in 2014, and there is no record of anyone from the royal family ever visiting them. और ये न्यूज़ भी बहुत बाद में, आई थिंक जब भी डायना का सब चल रहा था उस टाइम पर ये न्यूज़ थोड़ी बाहर आई थी, when they were digging into the royal family, and it's like this apparently they.
But without digging also, these monarchies are problematic, and here you're
problematic तो is,
and here you're talking about practically one of the most problematic monarchies in recent history.
पर मैं तेरे को बताता हूँ, उसको पता है रिस्पेक्ट क्यों करते हैं लोग. पीपल रिस्पेक्ट स्ट्रेंथ. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल इंडिया में पीपल डू रिस्पेक्ट छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज, राइट? सो देर इज, बिकॉज ही वॉज सक्सेसफुल इन मोस्ट ऑफ हिज एंडेवर्स, राइट? Whereas India-wide there is not as much respect as for Chhatrapati Shivaji as for Rajput kings and stuff. The same way I think globally, or people who are more sympathetic, who are whites or who are more sympathetic to to the British Empire. I think why there is still such a big fandom. जैसे लोग बोलते हैं अभी, ऐसे मैं भी बोल रहा था ना, ऐसे अभी क्यों लोग monarchy को. I think for people like that, it's like यार ये एक empire था जो actually succeeded. मतलब it world domination अगर किसी, if the world was a game, which it's not, but if it was, then these people had won that game. मतलब this family, they had at one point, I think I saw some map.
But that's fear, no? That's not like...
It is fear. It is fear. I don't... No, it is...
When you talk about the Rajputs versus the Marathas, my experience has been that it was kind of like people consider them equal in terms of they're both spoken of very reverentially. And nobody really talks about... nobody measures it statistically, you know.
No, but you know...
And there is fear because they did succeed, but there are also like legends. Again, my whole point is the reverence with which they're spoken of.
Yeah, I genuinely think it comes down to success. Okay, for example...
It might. I'm just saying that's not how it's viewed generally.
मैं तो बताता हूँ.
If we ever speak, nobody compares the number of battles, from where you started off. वो statistical analysis.
वो तो किसी को आइडिया ही नहीं है, वो तो आधे लोगों को आइडिया नहीं. But what I'm saying is कि okay, तू ये imagine कर, अगर कोई, if there was a Hindu king, okay, who had managed to like the Maratha Empire had actually taken over Delhi and all that stuff, but if let's say there was a Hindu king who actually made a very large sprawling and was not just, and was an invader also and went into other territory, let's say went into Central Asia or into Southeast Asia, you know, matlab more eastern parts of Asia. If that person had done that and successfully managed to, you know, colonize those parts or managed to sort of rule those parts, obviously with the fear of... नहीं हुआ था with the down south where I know the Chola dynasty and all that, but I'm saying if there was one ruler who was across India and had managed to pull that till now, मतलब let's say had managed to, तो तू सोच क्या होता वो इंडिया में उसका stature. So that is the stature of the royal family into 10 na, for like, because they were globally. So I think that is the reason, because at the end of the day strength speaks for most people. I think strength is what counts. Alright, so that is it on the royal family and the queen dying. Shaunak, anything else you want to add on this iconic sort of figure of world politics dying?
Nothing
at all. So that is our official position on this. Please don't show this to anyone. If you have family members working in the in the British Embassy, please don't show this to them, and we'll be eternally grateful. So moving on to our next topic for the day. Shaunak, what is our next topic?
The next topic that we're going to talk about here today, right now, is this semiconductor company that moved from Maharashtra to Gujarat. It's a semiconductor manufacturing company, and
called
Vedanta Foxconn. So it's a joint venture between an Indian company, Vedanta, and a Taiwanese company, Foxconn, and people are suspecting foul play.
I see that you are very, very, very involved in this. If anyone is familiar with the history of Maharashtra and Gujarat, it's not always been as pleasant as it is these days. But as a Maharashtrian, Shaunak, how do you feel about this factory or this sort of investment moving from Maharashtra to Gujarat?
As an Indian, is what I'm... नहीं यार, but the problem here is again कि करो सब जितना develop करना है, but this clearly apparently moved due to the center's pressure that they wanted to direct stuff to Gujarat, which all of them, like all the regional parties, have been accusing BJP of doing, that they've been directing too many funds to the center, and now the BJP is not even like trying to justify it. They just blatantly are. There's no excuse also about why they've moved the manufacturing company. They've just said,
मतलब कोई रीजन ऐसा नहीं कि उधर कम प्राइस में हो रहा था, ऐसा कुछ रीजन.
Maharashtra was giving more subsidies. The place where Maharashtra में जहाँ पे बनने वाला था, Talegaon near Pune.
वो Talegaon is the entry towards Pune from Mumbai. Correct.
तो वहाँ पे there was better infrastructure, there was better like skilled labor available, there were better options of setting up the manufacturing.
There is DY Patil Stadium also nearby.
Yeah, so all those guys could have gone for a nice game of cricket later on. DY Patil नहीं, वो वालुंजे स्टेडियम है.
Sorry नहीं, वो सहारा स्टेडियम जो जेल में अभी. Sorry, not DY Patil, my geography. Sorry.
So yeah, and close to Bombay and Pune both. So it was going to be set up there, and then the government switched to the Shinde faction and the BJP came back. Call me Devendra because I keep coming back.
Call me what? Call you Devendra?
Because I keep coming back. That's not original, by the way.
Whose joke is this?
I saw it on Twitter. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. who.
Asshole Shaunak stealing jokes from Twitter for the podcast. Whoever's joke this is on Twitter, please get in touch. We will put credits in the.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, because we just. Cause it's like.
Call me Devendra.
It's like a hustle motivation post on by itself. I had to use that one. So after Devendra ji and Shinde ji formed their government, like overnight apparently it just went to Gujarat to this place called Dholera. So center का pressure है, semiconductor बन नहीं रहा है. So not looking great.
I think it should definitely move to Dholera because Dholi Taro. That's all I can think of when I hear the word Dholera. It sounds like a word from that song, but it's probably not in it.
Yeah, it's not in it. And also Navratri is coming, so if you celebrated,
Dholera to you as well. I don't intend on going to Gujarat. They don't serve liquor.
Gabriel Garcia Mehta wrote "Love in the Time of Dholera."
Gabriel Garcia Mehta, 100 years of Amras.
That doesn't even make sense. It didn't even.
It doesn't. It's just Amras. It's just an Amras joke. Sometimes. Fuck you guys. This is a damn funny podcast. Share it with your friends, okay? Top tier
comedy.
Humor. Yeah. Anyway, so I can't talk about. I am sure Dholera is a lovely place. I can't talk about Dholera
Yeah.
anymore.
Also.
But yeah.
Also, this is on the center because they pressured the government to move it. So anyway, Shindeji called Modi ji. I don't know if this was before or after the cheetah releases, which he did on his birthday, by the way.
Yeah, he released the cheetahs on his birthday.
Yeah. I don't know. This was before or after. Shindeji called Modi ji and was like, you got to do something about this. And he said, yeah, we'll send more projects your way. Like, don't worry.
He said we'll send more projects.
Yeah, he said same value or more or bigger value.
This is the Prime Minister and Chief Minister equivalent of we'll get back to you soon. Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to keep his promise.
I doubt it.
Yeah, but
And by the way, those of y'all who don't know or are not familiar with it was the Samyukta Maharashtra movement only, for the separation of Gujarat and Maharashtra. Wasn't it this thing ki the Gujaratis wanted Mumbai as a part because it's quite close to Gujarat also and it's a financial capital and such a big city and all that shit. Was that a thing that they wanted Mumbai to be in Gujarat?
Like they didn't want a separate state of Maharashtra, no?
वो तो उनको चाहिए नहीं था.
So it was like one whole Bombay presidency.
It was happening. They didn't want to lose the city of Mumbai.
Yeah, specifically. I suppose that was the case.
Especially if you go to South Bombay and all, it's like largely Gujarati population is massive.
There is, and it's like a whole different city also. Right. But like if you want it, then I mean, keep it. I don't have any.
Do you really want to live in the state of Gujarat though?
As long as you don't do the prohibition thing there, because we need to cope, okay? If you live in Bombay, you need coping.
You ain't taking liquor away from somebody who travels in a local train and a bus and a shared rickshaw.
We will riot. That is our last straw. There's a lot we take generally. We deal with a lot of stuff, but that is all okay knowing that we come home and you can depend on alcohol to soothe some of.
Listen, to be fair though, we'll probably riot anyway. But it's not like
but there will be better motivations that people will have, but these were ours.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel. Do you think this is a larger ploy to like pull Bombay into Gujarat? Because like, say for example, if they do that, मतलब अभी तो शिवसेना भी नहीं है. Who will stand for the?
I mean, there's an easier way. If they do that if they win the BMC elections, that will probably happen a little bit already. Because I don't think the BJP is going to resist some of that BMC cake.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money over there.
It's a tasty cake.
It's a tasty cake, and it's like stuffed to the brim.
Yeah.
Because they have like a lot of cash to throw around.
But not on the streets around my house. Yeah. Some of them are private roads. I will not blame the government for that. But some of them are. But actually, I've noticed normally, I'm not trying to make a neoliberal argument over here for all my lefty friends before they throw shoes. But most of the private roads जितने भी होते हैं ना वो क्या मस्त बनाए रहते हैं जितने भी मतलब
Yeah.
whether it's societies के जैसे मेरे जो ये लेन का जो रोड है it doesn't break, it's barely any potholes and it's a private road, and another road nearby it's a private, they're all very good. But the moment you know immediately कि ये BMC का रोड है और ये यहाँ पे प्राइवेट रोड खत्म
और उस पे तेरे बस पे ट्रक्स भी नहीं कम जाते हैं ना, ट्रक्स एंड लाइक
यार बहुत मूवमेंट होता है लेकिन ऐसा कम मूवमेंट
एंड लाइक yeah, but these are like 16 ton trucks carrying like metro construction stuff and all also.
लोखंड वाला is a private road or is it the market?
I don't know, but I don't think a lot of like heavy duty trucks go there generally, which is not to defend the BMC. You need to make better roads, guys, come on. But yeah,
So this segment of the podcast is only for the 8 people out of our listeners who live in the Mumbai metropolitan area,
and the question to you also is just go party like normal people.
which is I don't understand. What?
Like, why are you listening to a podcast right now? Just
That's true.
if you have better. Actually, no, don't listen to the
Just
podcast.
listen, dude. Why?
Yeah, share it.
Don't shit on these nice people. They're such beautiful looking people. But anyway, anything else on this? My take on this is that I think it's a larger, as I told you, I think it's a larger plan. I think they want to take away Mumbai from Maharashtra. I'm not a Maharashtrian per se, but I'm a third generation Mumbaikar, and I am very close to the Maharashtra-ness of this city. So I will not allow this to happen. I will be standing in the way. Even if the Shiv Sena doesn't.
How?
I will literally stand on the border between Gujarat and Maharashtra, and I will drink while standing at the Maharashtra side and make fun of the people on the Gujarat side. Like, I'll just like down fucking shots, all that stuff, while they have to sadly eat their shitty sweet food. There's one cuisine in India that I am absolutely against, and if it was to lose out, if it was to go away and wipe off from the face of the earth, I wouldn't have a problem, which is the Gujarati cuisine. I think there's nothing redeeming. Your dhoklas are not as great as you think they are. Shaunak is asking me to cut this out because apparently this is too far. How is this too far?
I don't know. I just think it seems like an unobjective personal attack for some reason. Like food is food, no. So I don't know. This feels a little.
Food is food except for Gujarati food. Anyway, moving on from that very controversial point of view, though however correct that may be, we can.
I don't subscribe. Just on record, I don't subscribe to it.
Yeah. But while Shaunak doesn't subscribe, you should definitely subscribe to this channel and also like this video. Oh, especially I want to say this, on the DissContent podcast, we get quite a now the views have been starting to increase and we get a lot of likes because we do it live. हम ये podcast live नहीं करते क्योंकि हमें मरना नहीं है, हम काफी कुछ बोलते हैं इसमें जो आपको नहीं पता होता. So don't do like भेदभाव with this podcast also. Please help this younger brother of the DissContent podcast grow. So please like this video as well. Just because we're not doing it live, क्योंकि वो reminder नहीं आता, please just do it and it'll help us grow. So yes, moving on from that. Alright, so with that we have reached the end of this episode of the BoredGeoisie podcast. This was a lot of fun, Shaunak. For me, the first time we did it on video. How are you finding this experience on video?
I'm a little conscious of the camera on me.
So please,
I feel like I hope to reach the point where the other podcasts of this country are, and we have our reels also floating around. It's my one single dream in the short term, and also the long term. I don't have a lot of great dreams right now.
हाँ हमारे भी सपने हैं कि तुम कभी हमारे tidbits of knowledge and just the genius thoughts that we put out,
like a certain show. I won't take the name, but it
bare biceps.
Rhymes with it rhymes with pure biceps. Sorry, I'm gonna say sheer triceps.
It rhymes with sheer triceps. तो हमारा भी सपना है कि जैसे आप बेयर बाइसेप्स के रील्स देख के, जैसे आप जब भी आप देख के उनको अपने डस्टबिन या अपने ज़मीन की तरफ आप थूकते हैं जोर से, हमारा ड्रीम है हम उसी तरह आप हमारे रील देख के भी थूकें उतने ही पैशन के साथ. तो that is our dream, one day to have an audience so large that it doesn't mean anything and nobody means anything. And so with that we can conclude this episode. Shaunak, anything you want to add before we leave?
Yeah, it was a great experience.
It was a great experience for us, and it was a great experience, especially for all of you. So, thank you so much for listening and watching this episode of the BoredGeoisie podcast. If you like it, please like the video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Also, if you really like us, right, you can go to Spotify and you can rate us over there. If you listen to a few podcasts, it will allow you to rate the DissContent podcast. You can just search our name over there. This podcast is available with the rest of the film podcasts as well. So please do rate it, ideally 5 stars or whatever you would like to. Along with that, and if you really, really like us, and if you are slowly falling in love with the delicious cheekbones of Shaunak Odaukar, then you can go to buy me a coffee, or you can join membership of our YouTube channel, where you will get entry into our DissContent film WhatsApp group. Maybe we can start a WhatsApp group for this podcast also separately at some point. Once we have at least say 10-15 episodes, and once there's a regular listenership, and you will get entry into that WhatsApp group as well. So please do that either on Buy Me a Coffee, the link is in the description, or on YouTube join button. You can pay and become a member, and you can help support us and help us grow and keep doing this for however long that we can. So yeah, thank you for joining, and goodbye.